Hello and welcome to Rando Tech Info. So today we're talking about the new Moto Razr 5G, and there are some little subtle differences in this phone besides just the addition of 5G when compared to the original Razr that was launched exclusively at Verizon earlier this year. It's a bit chunkier than the non-5G Razr, but with the upgrades the phone has, I think most people will find that to be acceptable. It has a better processor, moving from the 710 mid-range processor to the top-of-the-line mid-range processor, 765G. Its RAM has been upgraded from 6 to 8 gigs, the internal storage has been doubled to 256 gigs, and it has a slightly larger battery, now clocking in at 2800 milliamp hours. The cameras are better, and they have added a lot of functionality to the 2.7-inch outer display, which now, due to software upgrades, makes it easier to launch and use apps like Spotify, Google Maps, and YouTube. You can even answer texts without ever opening the phone. Some parts of the new Moto Razr 5G are returning exactly the same as before, including the display, which still clocks in at 6.2 inches with an 876 by 2142 resolution. There's no high refresh rate, but it does have probably the least noticeable crease in any folding device that has come out so far. If you're looking for that retro feel, this is still probably your best way to get it in a foldable device. This phone will be offered at both AT&T and T-Mobile in store. You'll also be able to pick it up unlocked from places like B&H, Amazon, and Best Buy, as well as Motorola's own online store. Surprisingly, it's not being offered at Verizon this time around, and I say surprisingly because it was offered exclusively at Verizon the last time around. But I think there's a reason for this, and we'll get to that in just a second. After you're done watching this video, if you're still interested in picking up this snazzy piece of retro tech, you'll be able to pick it up later this fall for a bargain price of $13.99. That was sarcasm. That's actually a whole lot of money. So before spending that big old chunk of cash, you're probably going to want to know, will this phone work on your carrier? So I know I mentioned earlier about Verizon, and there's probably a reason the phone wasn't being sold at Verizon. Well, that's probably because it's called the Moto Razr 5G, and on Verizon, it won't get any 5G. And the reason for that is this phone does not make use of millimeter wave antennas, so you will not be able to get millimeter wave 5G on this device. Right now, that is pretty much exclusively the only 5G Verizon uses. So you're not going to get any 5G with Verizon. The good news is they use all the 4G bands of Verizon, so you'll still get pretty good coverage with this phone. You'll get very good 4G coverage, as good as any other phone. You just won't get that 5G functionality. So on AT&T, the news is a little bit rosier. Like Verizon, you will get full 4G functionality, so it uses all of AT&T's 4G bands, and you get some 5G functionality. It uses AT&T's sub-6 5G. So that's the slower 5G, but it does give better coverage, much better coverage than millimeter wave 5G. So AT&T, depending on where you live and what kind of 5G you get where you live through AT&T, you may get some 5G functionality out of this device. Last but not least, we have T-Mobile. Now, on T-Mobile, you will also get full 4G functionality, just like the other carriers. It uses all of the 4G frequency bands. It does utilize their low-band 5G, and it also uses their mid-band 5G, band 41, that was recently acquired through Sprint. So if you're looking for the best 5G experience right now, T-Mobile is probably your best bet with this device. Just keep in mind, mid-band 5G is not offered through a ton of places with T-Mobile just yet. So if you want to know if mid-band 5G is available where you live, you can go out on T-Mobile's website, and they do have a list of cities you can look at to find out if it's available where you live. So at the end of the day, is this phone worth picking up, especially considering its rather hefty $1,400 price tag? If you're on Verizon, this is a hard sell. To spend that kind of money on a phone that's not the best spec phone anyway, and not get 5G functionality, that's just a hard pill to swallow. If you're on AT&T or T-Mobile, yes, you're at least getting the 5G functionality. Now, are there better phones out there spec-wise? Yes, absolutely, much better phones. The OnePlus 8 Pro is hundreds of dollars less than this phone, and it has better cameras, a bigger battery, better processor. Like, it's just a better phone all around if you're looking at the specs and the stats. The Note 20 Ultra, for crying out loud, is considered right now to be probably the best Android phone you can buy, and it's $100 less than this phone. So I think if you're a spec chaser or if you're somebody who's a power user, then this phone is not for you. However, if you're somebody that doesn't really care about specs and you're just looking for something different, or if you're somebody who likes to talk about your tech, then I think this phone is a compelling option, because I promise you, when you pull this phone out in front of other people and flip it open, people are going to ask you about it. It's just a different kind of experience, and it's an experience that if you're already in the market for a $1,300 or a $1,400 phone, then maybe for you it's worth considering. If you do wind up picking up this phone, please come back and drop some lines down in the comments and let us know what you think of it so other people can learn from you. As always, I hope you found this video useful. Thanks for watching, and until next time, this is Rando Tech Info signing out.